Well, let's begin our 60-minute Vinyasa practice. And why don't we begin, let's begin on our back today. So just lay down on your back. You can be in Shavasana if you like. You could bend your knees and let the knees come apart and the soles of the feet together if you want. So any variation that works for you. And just settle into your mat. Try and relax all the muscles in the back. Try and relax the muscles in the hips. And let the muscles in the face relax as well. Try and relax your jaw. Relax your cheeks. Relax your forehead. Begin now to follow your breath as it flows in and out. And while you're following the breath, let it begin to deepen. And as the breath deepens, allow yourself to become more and more present in this moment. Try and let go of the past. Let go of the future. And become more and more present. More and more available in this moment. Now come back to the breath. And let the breath be the sole focus of your awareness. Maybe breathe in for 6 or 7 counts. And the same on the exhale. Breathing in. And breathing out. Couple more cycles of breath. And one more. Now still lying on your back, hug your knees into your chest. And then bring your forehead towards your knees, spine rounds. Then release the back of the head to the mat. Reach your heels up to the sky, legs up the wall pose. Bring your hands down by your side. Press the palms gently into the mat so you feel that contact between the palms and the mat. Now bend the knees, bring the soles of the feet to the mat. Walk the feet back towards your butt. Press your feet into the mat and lift the hips into a very gentle bridge pose. Keep the hips up, reach the arms up and overhead so the back of your hands touch down on the grass or the floor behind you. Now on the exhale, we're going to bring the tailbone down and the hands down so they land at the same time. So go ahead and exhale, bring the hands down and the tailbone lands. Now inhale, reach up and back and lift the hips. And exhale and down. And inhale and up. Continue flowing through that 5 more times and allow the movement to become just a little bit more fluid. So see if you can allow any jerkiness that you feel to sort of smooth out and soften. 2 more times through. And once more. Finish reaching the arms up and overhead. Press the hips high. And then as you exhale, bring the left arm down and the tailbone down at the same time. The right arm is still reaching up and overhead. Now on the inhale, we're going to lift the tailbone and swap out the arms. Nice fluid motion. Go ahead and do that. Lift the tailbone, swap the arms. And then exhale, swap the arms and bring the tailbone down. Do that again. Swap the arms, lift the tailbone. Exhale, tailbone down, arm swap. 3 more times through. At your own pace. And twice more. And one more time. And then finish by bringing both hands down by your side. Bring the tailbone down, hug the knees into your chest, and round the spine by bringing your forehead towards your knees. Now rock forward and back, and eventually rock yourself into a seat. And then once you're seated, bring your hands to your knees. Take a deep breath. Lift the shoulders up towards the ears, and then exhale the shoulders down. Do that again. Inhale, shoulders come up towards the ears, and exhale back and down. One more time. Inhale up. Exhale and down. Bring the arms out to a T. Inhale, reach the arms high. And exhale, bring the hands down. Keep the arms straight. Touch the fingertips to the earth. Inhale up. Big deep breath. Exhale down. Again, inhale up. Exhale down. And one more time. Big deep breath in, up. And exhale the arms to a T this time. Bring the left hand down. Reach the right hand up and over, stretching the right side body. Try and let that right elbow bend so the back of the hand comes to the or the palm of the hand comes to the back of the head. Reach the elbow up and then pull the elbow off to the left, staying grounded in the right sitting bone. On an inhale, core engages. Press through the left palm. Rise back up. We'll come to the other side. Right hand comes down. Left elbow bends. Palm to the back of the head. Now pull that left elbow off to the right a little bit more, stretching the left side body. Now press through the right palm and rise back up. And we're just going to flow from side to side. Rising and reaching. Stretching it out. A couple more times through. And maybe once more. And then back to center. And bring the hands to the knees. And then twist to the left. Keep the hands on the knees as you do that. And then back to center and twist to the right. So kind of pull that right shoulder back. Pull the left shoulder forward a little bit. And then over to the other side. And back again. A couple more times through. Try and keep the spine nice and long. Continue drawing your navel in, and that'll help lengthen the spine. Avoid you from rounding. And then back to center. Take a deep breath. Now, hinge at the hips and fold forward. You can walk your hands forward if you want. Forehead comes down towards the mat. Maybe your forehead reaches the mat. Keep the spine long and walk the hands back towards your body. And then once you're fully upright, cactus the elbows, palms face forward, elbows about the same level as the shoulders. Pull the elbows back a little bit and then lift your gaze up. And then reach the arms high. Exhale the hands down. Hinge at the hips again and fold forward. Walk the hands back towards the body. And then cactus the elbows. Lift your chin. Lift the arms up. We'll go through that one more time. Elbows straight as you bring the hands down. Hinge at the hips. Fold forward. Elbows bend. Forehead comes down towards the mat. Press through the palms, straightening the elbows. Then reach the arms up. Cactus last time. Lift the chin high. A little higher than you have before. Look up towards the overcast sky. Reach the arms high, and then exhale. Bring the hands to heart center. Just take a breath. Another one. And bring the hands down to the knees. Should we work the neck a little bit? All right. Right ear towards right shoulder. Soften that left shoulder a little bit. And now chin to chest. Keep the chin there for a moment. And now left ear towards left shoulder. And if you've lifted the right shoulder up, or if you're leaning over like that, come back up so the shoulders are square, so they're level. Now lift the chin high. And right ear towards right shoulder. Now you can just go around on your own. We're going to go around about 3 times now. Remember to lift the chin, and then right ear to right shoulder. Now bury the chin in the chest, and left ear towards left shoulder. One more time around. Just feeling through that range of motion in the cervical spine, the neck. And then go back the other way. We're going to do the same thing the other direction about 3 times around. And one more. All right, back to center now. Sit up nice and tall. Draw the shoulders back. Take a deep breath. And then as you exhale, let's come to table pose. And inhale to cow pose. We're going to flow through our cow and cat. Lift your chin. And then press the hands into the mat and draw the navel up towards the spine. Let the forehead come towards the knees into cat pose. And then inhale to cow. Dropping your belly, lifting your chin, and exhaling to cat. Keep it going, inhaling to cow, and exhaling to cat. And about 5 more times through at your own pace. I'm just really loving the cool weather. It's feeling good. And about 3 more times through. Let your breath begin to deepen now too. Make a conscious effort to breathe more deeply. Sending the breath all the way down to the belly. 1 more time through. Now come back to a neutral spine. Come back to table pose. And then reach the left hand forward and pick the right foot up, straighten the right leg, and reach back through that right foot. This is table extension pose. We're going to be here just 3 breaths. Big deep breath again. Both in and out. And again, breathe in deeply. And exhale completely. And 1 more time. Big deep breath. Then as you exhale, bring elbow towards knee. Let your spine round. Let the head drop down. And then reach back out. Stretch. And then elbow comes towards knee. 2nd time on this side. And reach it out. And 3rd and last one on this side. Bring elbow towards knee. Spine rounding. Head can drop down. And then reach back out. Now bring that left hand down. Point the toes on the right foot. Press into the hands and lift your chin into tiger pose. Press the hands into the mat a little bit more. Let your shoulders rise up. Maybe lift your chin a little higher, and maybe press that knee a little higher. Now we're going to finish by bringing the elbow towards the chin or the nose, and then press straight back through that right foot. Press through the heel now so the toes point down. Rotate the toes 90 degrees to the right. Bend the right knee and bring it forward. Just 1 time, opening the hip on the right side, and then press straight back through that right heel. Rotate the toes so they point down. Bend the right knee and bring it forward. 2nd time, touching the chin or the nose, and then press back, and then bring the right knee down so it meets the left knee. We're going to go right over the other side. Press back through the left heel. Reach the right hand forward, coming into table extension pose. You can point through the toes if you want on that left foot. It's your choice. And just 2 more breaths. We're just doing 3 breaths in table extension pose. 1 more. Beautiful job, everybody. Elbow towards knee. Slow it down. And then reach back out. You should feel lots of core engagement here. Second time, elbow comes towards knee. And then reach it out. Third one, elbow towards knee. And then reach it back out. Bring the right hand down. Press through the toes of the left foot. Bend the left knee. Toes point towards the sky. Press the hands into the mat. Lift your chin. So you can press the hands into the mat and lift the chin a little higher. The chest is pressing forward in the pose. Shoulder blades are kind of coming together on the back a little bit. Now can you lift that left knee up a little bit higher, creating a deeper back bend? And then finish by bringing the knee towards the chin, maybe touching the chin or the nose if you can, and then press straight back through the left heel. The toes point down. Rotate the toes 90 degrees to the left. Bend the left knee and slowly bring it forward. Keep it as high as you can. And then press back through that left heel. Rotate the toes so they point down. Straighten the left leg. And then bring the left knee forward, touching the chin. And then bring the left knee down so it meets the right knee. Inhale to cow pose. And exhale to cat, rounding the spine. Again, inhale to cow pose, dropping the belly, lifting the chin. And exhale to cat. One more time. Inhale to cow pose. And then exhale to cat. And then from there, step your right foot forward so the right foot comes between the hands. Press into that right foot. So press the sole of the foot into the mat, then tuck the toes and bring the left knee off the mat. Press through the left heel now so you feel a stretch in the back of the left leg. At the same time, keep pressing that right knee forward so you're feeling a little bit of a stretch on the outside of the right hip. Now straighten the right leg and reach your head forward. Try and keep your spine parallel to the mat and nice and long. So try not to round, so don't drop your head down. Keep the head up. Keep the fingertips on the mat. Now bend the right knee. Bring the left knee back to the mat. Press into the left foot and reach the arms up and overhead. Low crescent lunge. Stretch up nice and high. Press that right knee forward even a little bit more. Now bring the arms out to a T. Take a deep breath. And exhale, take your twist to the right and bring the elbow to the knee, and we'll find a prayer twist. Just one breath here. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, come out the way you came in, reaching the right hand back. Left hand reaching forward, back to center, reach up high, and then exhale the hands down. Step the right knee back so it meets the left knee. Press the hips to the right, and then to the left. And then to the right, and to the left. There's this little red ant watching what I'm doing. He's on my mat. And one more time to the left. He's just not moving. He's saying, what is this guy doing on the mat? Back to center. Now step your left foot forward. Then tuck the toes, bring the right knee off the mat, and press into that right heel. So you're pressing the right heel towards the back of the mat. Go away. Now straighten the left leg. Come up on fingertips, and here think about reaching the top of the head forward towards the front of the mat, pulling your tailbone towards the back of the mat. And for most of us, that's going to create a lot of sensation in the back of that left leg, in the hamstring muscles as well as the gluteal muscles, maybe into the calf a little bit. Now bend the left knee, bring the right knee to the mat, press into the left foot and rise. Low crescent lunge, we've come to the second side. Press the left knee forward a little bit more. Now bring the arms to a T. Take a deep breath, and on the exhale, take your twist to the left. Elbow comes to knee, palms together. Prayer twist, second side. Big, deep breath. Come out the way you came in. Left hand reaches back, right hand reaches forward, back to center. Reach the arms high, and then exhale the hands down on either side of the forward foot. Now tuck the toes and bring the right knee off the mat, and then we're just going to step the right foot forward into a standing forward fold. Let your head drop down and bring the weight into the front of the feet so you can take opposite elbows here and press the elbows down towards the big toes, helping to lengthen the spine. The knees can bend a little bit. Do yourself a favor and let the neck muscles go. Shake your head yes, shake your head no to remind the muscles that it's time to release, that the head does not need to be held up in the pose. And then bring your weight forward a little bit more into the front of the feet. Now sway gently from side to side, nice and slow, with the intention really of lengthening the spine through the swaying motion, if that makes any sense. Now back to center and let the head just drop down. Release the hands. Bring the arms out to a T. With the weight still in the front of the feet, let your heels float and rise. There are all kinds of critters in the grass, aren't there? Reach the arms high. Look up towards the palms. Bring the palms together and then to heart center. Take a breath. Reach the arms high. Exhale out to a T. Now a swan dive slowly into a forward fold. Come to a half lift. The hands can come to the top of the shins. Lengthen the spine now. And then a little bend in the knees. Very slight. Hinge at the hips and fold forward. Let your head drop down. Bring the hands all the way down to the mat. Step left foot back. Keep the right foot forward between the hands. Bring the left knee to the mat. Reach the arms high into a low crescent lunge. Second time here. Pressing that right knee forward. Maybe even press the right knee forward a little bit more. Did you get a vaccine shot in your foot? Arms out to a T. Let's take our twist, a second one to the right. And then join the palms. Bring the elbow to the knee. Left elbow comes to right knee. Good adjustments. Come out the way you came in. Right hand reaches back first. Left hand reaches forward. Then back to center. Bring the hands down on either side of the right foot. Tuck the toes. Bring the left knee off the mat. Now step the right foot back to plank pose. Take a deep breath in plank. And then on the exhale, bring your knees to the mat. Pick your feet up off the mat. And then chest and chin. With the elbows tucked in, come into cobra pose. Now press the pubic bone down. Lift the heart up. Gaze is straight forward. Take a breath. And then release. Toes tuck as you push to plank. And then lift your hips. Downward facing dog. On an inhale, lift the left leg up. And step it forward, bringing the left foot between the hands. Second or third effort if you need to. Good job. Now bring the right knee to the mat. Reach the arms up and overhead. Low crescent lunge. Second time on this side. Press that left knee forward a little bit more with the intention of creating a nice stretch at the top of the right leg. You feeling that? Yeah. Now arms out to a T. Take a deep breath. On the exhale, take your twist to the left this time. Pause for a moment. Reach the right hand forward. Yeah, I know everybody wanted to go into the prayer twist. What I want you to do is reach that right hand forward. So feel this stage of the movement. Now bring the palms together and find your prayer twist. So we're just separating the stages so that although we know they're a flow, what we're going to do is to separate the stages a little bit and acknowledge each one. Come out the way you came in. Left hand reaches back. Right hand reaches forward. Pause again. Notice this stage of the flow. It's hard. And then back to center. Reach up high. Exhale the hands down on either side of the left foot and tuck the toes on the right foot. Straighten the right leg so the right knee comes off the mat. And step the left foot back into plank pose. 3 breaths now in plank. Feeling the breath flowing through your body just the way we did when we began our practice. 1 more breath. Now knees to the mat. Pick the feet up off the mat as you come into cobra pose. Chest and chin. So think about inchworming and then up. Chest presses forward. You can press the feet and the top of the feet down into the mat here if you want. Elbows tucked in nice and close. Good. And then release all the way down. Toes tuck as you push to plank, and the hips are high now into downward facing dog. Stretch it out, lots and lots of length in the spine in downward facing dog. We achieve that by pressing the hands into the mat and just thinking about reaching your tailbone way up and back. Now slowly walk the feet forward to the hands, nice and slow walk, into a standing forward fold. And here let your head hang down again. Feel the spine lengthening, maybe feel sensation in the gluteal muscles as well as the back of the legs. Arms come out to a T now, reverse swan dive as you rise. Nice and slow, pressing into the front of the feet as you come up. Let the arms reach high, palms together, and now reach up and back. Bend the knees, find a back bend. Chest presses towards the sky in the back bend. Come out by reaching straight up, and then bring the hands to heart center. Take a breath. Arms out to a T now. Come halfway down only. Feet about hip width apart, maybe a little bit less than that. Bend the right knee, standing twist. Right hand comes down, left hand reaches high. That left leg is straight. The right knee is nice and bent, and I'm feeling a big, big stretch in the back of my left knee, which is telling me that I'm stretching the hamstring muscles on that left side. That's where those muscles attach, is behind the knee. Now left hand comes down, left knee bends, right leg straightens, right hand reaches high. Good job of stacking the right shoulder over the left shoulder, head still reaching straight forward. Good job. Let's do one more time on each side. Right knee bends, right arm reaches, or whichever side we're on. I guess it's the left, isn't it? Now left hand down, right hand reaches, left knee bends, reach up high. Now bring the arms out to a T, and then sweep the arms forward so the biceps are on either side of the ears. Press into the front of the feet and come all the way up. Deep core engagement as you come up, then reach up and back into that back bend. Come out by reaching the arms high and then bend the knees and come down to chair pose. Was it funny?
No.
It's okay.
My least favorite posture.
I know, that's why we're doing it.
Yeah, I know.
So this is Rosa's least favorite posture, so we're going to actually center the whole rest of the practice on chair pose. No, I'm kidding, we won't do that. Bend the knees, though, a little bit more. Press the hips back. So we can learn something, though, from our reaction to poses. So we have, many of us have sort of native reactions to poses. And everybody doesn't hate the same pose. But we do, and it's telling us something. It's telling us that maybe we need to work on that a little bit more. There's a reason that we don't like the way we feel in the pose, and maybe if we overcome that reason, we can learn. Straighten the legs, reach up, and a beautiful swan dive. Forward fold, come to a half lift again, and then release your hands down to the mat. Then step the right foot back, left foot, Yeah, all right, you don't have to do it. Step back to plank pose. A lot of crosstalk today. Everybody back to plank now, both feet behind. And now flow through a vinyasa. Knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga into upward facing dog. And then downward facing dog when you're ready. At least one breath in upward dog. Let's all meet in downward dog now, lengthening the spine by pressing those hands into the mat. On an inhale, right leg reaches high. Lift it up nice and high and press the left heel down. Now three-legged dog. Bend the right knee and open the hips to the right. Work on stacking the right hip over the left hip. See if you can pick that right knee up even a little bit more and kind of point it up and back as much as you can. Now level the hips off and step the right foot forward, bringing the right foot all the way between the hands on the step through. From there, rise to a high crescent lunge. Arms reach up and overhead. Bring the arms out to a T in the high crescent lunge with the palms facing down. Right knee bent up to 90 degrees. Take a deep breath. On the exhale, bring the right shoulder down towards the right knee till your upper body is about parallel to your mat. Then press into the right foot and rise all the way back up. Once you're there, interlace the fingers behind the back. Press the knuckles towards the heel, the left heel, as you straighten the elbows. Now lift your chest and maybe lift your gaze up towards the sky, finding a little back bend. Release the arms back out to a T. Hinge at the hips again and fold forward. Come halfway down. Press into the right foot and rise back up. Reach the arms up and overhead now with the palms about shoulder width apart. Notice the long straight line from the fingertips through the shoulders and the hips. See if you can keep that long straight line as we come down again halfway. So we're going to bow down, reaching the fingertips forward. Do the best you can. It's a hard movement. Press into the right foot and rise back up. You're so strong. It looks so good. Bring the hands down on either side of the right foot now. Step the right foot back to plank pose. Take a breath. And then flow through a vinyasa. Knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. You always have the option to choose between those two into upward facing dog. And on the exhale, find downward facing dog. On an inhale, left leg rises. Lift it nice and high. A little higher. Now three-legged dog. Open the hips to the left. The left knee can bend. That left foot can kind of drop down a little bit. So bending the left knee even a little more. Level the hips off now. And then consciously step that left foot all the way forward, bringing it between the hands. With the left knee bent, rise to a high crescent lunge, Anjaneyasana. Left knee pointing straight forward. If you feel a little teetering, move the right foot to the right or the left foot to the left. Remember, that'll give you a wider stance, and a wider stance is inherently more stable. Good job. Now arms out to a T. Reach the hands apart from one another, and then hinge at the hips. Keep the spine long. Come down halfway, and now slowly come back up, slowly. Now bring the hands behind you, interlace the fingers behind the back, straighten the elbows. Now bring the left shoulder down towards the left knee, keeping the left knee bent. And then slowly come back up, nice and slow. Release the arms, reach the hands high. Keep the biceps on either side of the ears. Just be mindful of that long line, fingertips to shoulders to hip. Do your best to keep the line nice and long and straight. Hinge at the hips, come down halfway, bowing down. Reach the fingertips forward. Press that left hip back a little bit, and then rise back up. Good job. Bring the hands down on either side of the left foot now, and step the left foot back into plank pose. Take a breath in plank. And another one. Deep breath in. And one more time. Big, deep breath. And now flow through vinyasa. Knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga into upward facing dog. 2 or 3 breaths now in upward dog. Find that back bend. And then finish by bringing the knees all the way down to the mat. Bring your knees apart into child's pose. Press your tailbone back towards your heels. Forehead can rest on the mat. Say hello to the little bugs on your mat. Maybe befriend them. Two more breaths in child's pose. And one more. Let's rise from child's pose now up to a kneeling posture with the knees about hip width apart. Notice the alignment again with the hips over the knees and the shoulders more or less over the hips. Now we're going to find a camel pose. Bring the hands to the low back. With the fingers pointing straight down, pull the elbows a little bit closer together. Now press the heels of the hands into the back of your waist. And as you do that, as your hips press forward, just lift your gaze up. Keep pressing vigorously into the low back. And now think about pressing the chest up towards the sky, letting the head drop down. Just let your body come into a natural back bend, whatever is working for you today. And then keep pressing into the back as you slowly rise. So the pressing is helping us support the body in the pose. Take a breath. Should we do it one more time? This time, if you want to move into a full camel pose, bringing the hands down to the heels or to the floor or the mat, feel free to do that. On an inhale, lift your chin. Maybe release the hands if you want. The key here is to let your head drop down, to keep pressing the hips forward. Feel a nice stretch at the top of the legs. One more breath. Now slowly rise back up. Reach the arms high. And then on the exhale, let your hips drop to your heels. Bring your palms to your thighs. And breathe. I don't say the name of that pose in Sanskrit very much. It's called Ustrasana. Ustra is camel in Sanskrit. Who knew? Let's come to table pose. And then downward facing dog. On the inhale, reach the right leg high. Find three-legged dog again. Open the hips to the right. Keep your shoulders square to the front of the mat. So lift your chin up and look forward. That'll help you square the shoulders. Good adjustment. Now open the hips to the right a little bit more. And now you're creating the spinal rotation, the spinal twist. Level the hips off and step the right foot all the way forward. So the right foot ends up between the hands and rise, spinning the left heel to the mat to Warrior Two. Remember, in Warrior Two, the hips are parallel to the long edge of the mat. Right knee is bent and pointing straight forward. How's Warrior Two feel today? Bless you. Feel good?
Almost knocked me off balance.
Sneezing has a tendency to do that. We're going to stay in the pose 2 more breaths. Can you bend your knee a little bit more, that right knee? Yeah, maybe creating a little wider stance. Starting to feel that in the quadriceps a little bit. Now, speaking of being off balance. Now, extended side angle, but for this version, we're going to bring the right hand all the way down and reach the left hand up. That right knee stays bent. So the tendency is to straighten the right leg. I want you to keep it bent and pointing forward. Now pick the right hand up off the mat, straighten the right leg, and come into a reverse triangle pose. Bring the left hand down to the back of the leg. Reach with the right hand, press into the right foot. Now arms come out to a T. Bend the right knee, and we'll flow through that again. Bring the right hand down. Right knee is way bent. Left hand is high. Pick the right hand. Yeah, the left hand is high. Rise and reverse triangle pose. Second time through this motion. Press into the right foot, reach up and back. We're going to do it a third time on this side. Bring the hand down, reach up with the left, and then rise, straightening the right leg. Left hand comes down to the back of the leg. Right hand reaches high. Now square your hips to the long edge of the mat if they're not already. Then bring the arms out to a T, drawing the navel in as you do that. Now press into the back foot as we move towards triangle pose and pause. Just stretch that right hand forward and do it again. Press into the back foot, reach the right hand forward, and then let the right hand just drop down into triangle pose. Now refine your triangle pose by opening the left side of the chest up a little bit so that the left shoulder more or less stacks over the right shoulder. Spine stays nice and long. 2 more breaths. Open a little bit more. No, that way. There you go. No. You can if you want. Now right knee bends, rise to Warrior Two. Whew, take a breath. Good work, everybody. Who knew we'd have to do anything that would be like work this morning? Bring the hands down on either side of the right foot. John, it's in your honor that we're doing all this work. Step the right foot back to plank pose. And flow through a vinyasa. Knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Upward facing dog when you're ready, and downward facing dog. On an inhale, lift the left leg high. Find three-legged dog again, opening the hips to the left. Remember the technique of picking your chin up, looking to the front of the mat to help square the shoulders. See if you can pick the left knee up just a little bit more and press the right heel down at the same time. Beautiful. Level the hips now. Step the left foot all the way forward so the left foot comes between the hands. Spin the right heel to the mat and let's rise to warrior two. Second side. Let the breath deepen. See if you can bend the left knee just a little bit more. That's it. Opening the hips. Good adjustment. You can actually find a wider or a longer stance. Two more breaths. And one more. Now let's find that extended side angle. Left knee stays bent. Bring the left palm to the mat. Reach the right hand high. If you've straightened your left leg, rebend it so that left knee is pointing forward. Now begin to straighten the left leg and rise all the way to reverse triangle. This is the first one on this side. Press into that left foot. Reach with the left hand. Stretch up and back. And then come back through warrior two. And then bring the left hand down to our extended side angle new version. Straighten the left leg and rise. This is the second time through. Check in with those hips. Make sure the hips are parallel to the long edge of the mat. And let's go through it one more time. Left knee bends. Bring the left hand down. Right hand reaches high. Open up that right shoulder over the left shoulder. And then rise to reverse triangle. Last one. Press into that left foot and stretch it out. Lots and lots of length now on the left side. Draw the navel in a little bit. Now bring the arms out to a T. Both legs are straight. Reach the left hand forward. Stretch it forward. And again, reach forward just a little more. That's it. Now drop the left hand down. Right hand reaches high. Now refine the pose, opening up that right shoulder just a little bit more if you can. That doesn't necessarily mean to reach back behind you. Still reaching straight up, but just opening the shoulder. Now left knee bends, rise to warrior two. You guys done great. Cartwheel the hands down on either side of the left foot and come up onto the ball of the right foot. Step the right foot forward. Bend the knees and rise to, you guessed it, chair pose. Utkatasana. Nearly everyone's favorite pose. Now bring your hands to heart center. And we're going to do a couple of twists in chair. Bring the arms out to a T, palms facing forward. The hands are reaching 180 degrees apart from one another. Take a twist to the right, and then back to center, and then a twist to the left, and back to center. Feeling it in the quads? A little bit. Hands to heart center. You can probably bend the knees a little bit more, and find a chair twist. Bring the elbow to the knee. So left elbow to right knee. And then back to center and over to the other side. Right elbow to left knee. And back to center. Reach the arms high, back to chair pose. Now the arms come out to a T. Take your twist. Now, bring the left hand down, reach the right hand up. See if you can hook that left elbow on the outside of the right knee. Rise back to that twisted chair with the palms facing to the right. And then back to center and palms face to the left. Keep the knees bent. Now bring the right hand down so the right elbow comes to the outside of the left knee. Reach the left hand up. Both arms are straight. Good job. Back to center. Reach the arms high. Straighten the legs. That's enough of that. Swan dive all the way down, forward fold. Come to a half lift, and then release your hands all the way down to the mat. Step or jump back to plank pose. It's your choice. Flow through our final vinyasa, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga into upward facing dog. And then when you're ready, find downward facing dog. Now bend the knees. Bring both knees to the mat. And just come to a seat. Let's bring the soles of the feet together. And then cup the hands on the outside of the feet. And then pull up on the feet so that the shoulders come back. So in pulling up, one of the things we might do is pull the shoulders together at the front and kind of round the spine and pull up. I don't think that feels as good as pulling the shoulders back. Keep the chin nice and level. Now let's float it. So we'll just gently pick the feet up off the mat, keeping the spine long, kind of pressing the tailbone down. Engage the core, the abdominal muscles particularly. Now, bring peace fingers to big toes. And in one motion, we're going to straighten the legs and then bring the feet apart from one another. Take a deep breath in. On the exhale, straighten the legs and bring the feet apart into a floating, wide-legged split. Press through the heels. Let your chest rise. Draw your shoulder blades together a little bit. Everybody's doing great. Soles of the feet come together. And then back to our floating cobbler pose. Let the heels drop down towards the pubic bone, opening up the hips a little bit more. And breathe. And bring the feet down to the mat now. Now bring your left ankle to your right knee or right thigh, or for some of you, you can probably bring that right heel all the way down to the hip, all the way back to the right hip. Now bend the right knee a little bit and then lean back and get a hold of the right foot with your right hand. And if you can't get the foot, you can grab a hold of the ankle or the shin. And then once you're there, straighten that right leg. We've done this pose before. And you might even be able to bring both hands to that extended right leg. And that's it. Release the hands, bring the foot down. Let's go over to the other side. And again, either ankle on the knee or the thigh or all the way back to the hip. It's up to you. And then bend the right knee. Bend that right knee enough that you can get a hold of the foot. And now, if you feel unsteady, you can bring the right hand behind you and then just kind of lean back into the right hand and then straighten the left leg. It's all okay. We're just having fun. And then if you want, maybe both hands come to that extended leg. And then release the hands and bring the foot down. Bring both feet out in front of you. Press the heels away. Toes point straight up. Reach your arms up and overhead. As you exhale, fold forward over the extended legs, probably creating a nice stretch in the hamstrings and the gluteal muscles. Now reach the fingertips forward. Press into the back of the heels as you rise. Core engages pretty deeply as you come up. And then release the hands and bring them down. Bend your knees. Let's just roll down to the back. Once you're on your back, walk your feet back until you can brush your heels with your fingertips. We're going to move towards bridge pose, which we did at the very beginning of our practice. For this one, press the feet into the mat and lift your hips up. And remember, you can always interlace your fingers behind your back and press your knuckles towards your heels, straightening your elbows if you want to. Now breathe in deeply, and on the exhale, press your hips a little higher. Allow yourself to come into just a little bit deeper back bend. And one more time, deep breath in. On the exhale, maybe lift the hips just a little bit more, deepening the back bend. And that's it. Release the hands if they're interlaced. Let the tailbone come down to the mat. Once the tailbone lands, hug your knees into your chest. And then find happy baby pose. Hands to the pinky toe side of the feet, soles of the feet reaching to the sky. Press the tailbone down a bit so the tailbone is coming down towards the mat. Now relax the back of the shoulders so the back of the shoulders drop down towards the mat as well. 2 deep breaths. And one more. Release the hands from the feet, reach the heels to the sky. Point the toes gently. And this is your place for plow pose if you want it. Bringing the toes up and overhead. You can support the back in the pose if you want. And if you want to stay in legs up the wall, feel free to stay there instead. If you're in plow, lift your feet up over the hips, coming to shoulder stand, supporting the low back. Support the low back with the palms of the hands, not just the fingertips. If you're in shoulder stand and you got here from plow, come back to plow, letting the feet drop down. Take a breath. Let's all meet in legs up the wall pose. Now bring the arms out to a T. And let your feet drop down. So the knees bend. The feet don't come to the mat. The knees are still pretty much over the hips. We're going to do a supine twist. Flip your palms so they face down. So you ground. And then let the knees travel to the left and land. And let your gaze shift to the right. You can let your eyes close down. And maybe feel all those little bugs crawling up your legs. Two more breaths. Let the breath deepen a little bit. One more breath. Let your knees float back to center and over to the right side as your gaze shifts to the left. Trying to relax the back of that left shoulder. So the back of the left shoulder rests on the mat. And that's it. Let the knees float back to center. And now straighten your legs. You can bring the arms back down by your side if you want, or the arms can stay out if that feels good. And now let's have a joyous Shavasana. Celebrating this beautiful morning. Celebrating this wonderful group. Celebrating the sky above us and the earth that supports and sustains us. And anything else for which you feel gratitude, now might be an appropriate time just to acknowledge that gratitude that you feel. Just continue following your breath, flowing in and flowing out. Allow your body to become more and more peaceful. And just acknowledging all of the wonderful things in your life. Now begin to invite gentle movement to your fingers and toes. And when you're ready, bend your knees. And then roll over onto your side. You can cradle your head in your arm if that feels good. And when you're ready, bring yourself to a seat. Once you're seated, bring your hands to heart center, press your palms together. Breathe in deeply. And then just let the breath and everything else go. Let's do that one more time. A deep breath in. And let it go. Thank you all so much for being here today. May you be happy and well, and may you be safe. May you be peaceful, and may you be at ease. Namaste.